Yeah. So just to kind of pick your brain a little bit further on the Christo front, I know he's been like a mentor to you. For those of you that don't know, Melissa's also actively was a co-host on The Future. Are you still involved with The Future at all?
I haven't been, just because I've been focusing on
your own business. Yeah.
Building.
But
yeah.
For a long time, long-running co-host of The Future, which is just like an amazing video podcast show. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could describe it, but any creative professional, anybody that's an entrepreneur, anyone that just like wants to learn how to run a more effective business, it's a phenomenal resource. So I believe you can just Google The Future and like you'll see Melinda in most, if not most of the episodes. So my question to you, Melinda, that's just like background for anyone that's not familiar. It's like one of my all-time favorite YouTube channels / shows. How did you meet Christo? How did like that relationship start? And like, what does he mean to you?
Yeah. Well, originally I was at that time right before I learned what brand strategy was, and I was having difficulty growing my brand identity business at the time. And I had this assumption that if I were to get better at my craft, if I were to get better at creating logos and design, that then the clients would come. And so I focused on whatever I could to get better at design. And then he had posted some design challenge, you could say. It was about how to design a better logo on Facebook. And I came across it and I'm like, okay, I can do this. And knowing that he was a teacher from Art Center, he had went to Art Center, I'm like, well, he's giving all this information away for free. I might as well do it, because that, like, then I can really know how to hone my craft. And from doing that, I really put a lot of time and effort into that. And in doing that, he reached out to me and was like, who are you? Why are you doing this? Because my work was good. And so he's like, I don't understand why you're working on this, because it's really good. It's not like you have that much area to improve and grow. So what's going on with your business? And then in talking with me, found out it just wasn't where I wanted it to be at. And then we hit it off as far as like mentor mentee, and we had good chemistry with our conversations and whatnot. And then he invited me. He's like, listen, I'll coach you if you agree to, we'll record it. And if you agree to, we'll post it on YouTube and we'll just see how it goes. So he's like, there's no commitment. We'll just see. Yeah. And it works out really well. So working with him amazing. Completely changed my lens of, like, I had the lens focused on me. I had the lens on like, I need to get better. I'm not enough. And in working with him, I realized that it was a self-centered viewpoint that I had, because it was all about me. And it wasn't about how can I be there for my client? What is my client trying to do? Where are they trying to go in their business? And can my skills and my creative problem solving help them get there? If not, I can refer them elsewhere, but it's about them, not about me. And I think that was the biggest mindset shift I had in being coached by him.
Yeah, I love that. I've never heard that story. I think it's so cool that you also took on a role of being super vulnerable, right? You were kind of like, being a mentor and mentee is like, it's in a lot of ways, it tends to be like a very private thing, right? Like, you ask questions that like, sometimes you think is like, oh, is that like a dumb question? Like, does my mentor think like, so you have these constant questioning of yourself and, am I the right fit? Am I doing too much, not enough? But you were able to do that and like broadcast it, which I give you so much credit for. Like, I don't think a lot of people, like would be able to do that. So I guess like, simple question, like, do you go back and watch those videos? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, watching yourself on camera, especially like more early episodes?
No, I don't. Once in a great while, I'll like peek at the videos, because I think they're using some of the videos as shorts on YouTube, and so I'm like, oh, that's me. I think I've seen you on shorts. Like, I don't know if you're on TikTok yet, but I'm sure you're resurfacing more and more. Yeah, and I'll see those and I'm like, oh, wow, I was thinking a lot different than I do today. But it is so cool when I do come across those clips. I don't go to the full video because I'm like, I don't have it in me to do that. But when I come across those clips, it's such a great reminder of where I was and the progress that I've made and how I think and go about things now compared to what I used to. So I'm grateful for those, because it's a timestamp of where I was, but also it's a contrast of where I am now.
Yeah, the personal growth is like, it's got to be so cool to look back and see. I think about that all the time of like simple things like documents, presentations, videos that I used to do. And now it's just like, a lot of it is just repetition, practice, and so much of it is confidence, which I think a lot of it was just proving to yourself that you could do it. The other cool thing is that if you think about it like that, your content has probably been viewed by millions at this point, at least probably well over that at this point. But that's got to be so cool that there's someone out there that watched that video that you inspired, that you don't even know about, but you could have changed the course, like the direction of like their career path of their life by just like putting yourself out there. So like the spillover benefits of like making yourself vulnerable and taking that risk and asking Chris and like saying yes, which is the other thing that we didn't even talk about, is like you saying yes to, yeah, let's broadcast me being your, getting mentored by you. So many cool things from that story. I just like wanted to kind of like circle back on that. Chris is obviously just the person for design and business on YouTube now. Like, I think when I first met him, he was like on this like upward trajectory, and now it's just like straight up. But I think you were a big part of that. I think that show was so huge in like getting the name out there, and his personality really came through too. Like, I think, like the two of you, I agree. Like the chemistry piece that you mentioned, just as like someone like that the first episode I ever came in contact with Christo was one of the episodes with you. And I think without you there to lower the bar, and like make it a little bit more approachable, I don't know that I would have been following like in the long term. So kudos to you. Like, I think it was like, that was like my first interaction with you. And I'm like super impressed with like how much content the two of you were able to put out, because I know it was like an inspiration for a ton of people.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Design Huddle. The opinions expressed are solely our own and do not express the views or opinions of our employer.